Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break the wall!
Welcome everyone to Sunday night. Let me tell you something, brother, here on 216 Creator Studios. I apologize for a delay. Still working on some stuff at the studio and Tom's Production Studio. Yeah, I don't know if I want to name that name yet. Wait until stuff is actually working right. I don't know if it's the ghost or what's going on here. I was talking to Alex right before he got here. I come back from Walmart, getting some supplies, and then it looked like there was blood over my office kitchen area, and it turned out like one of the energy drinks popped open, and just got all over everywhere. So I mean, that was just I don't know. And then tonight, trying to get stuff set up, just seemed one thing after another would not work. That should work. And welcome to today's technology.
Hey, it's not that complicated. We'll get it working.
It's because we're live from Berlin.
Bash at Berlin. We're on Berlin time right now.
Berlin time.
I loved all the scenery shots that they sent, and there was not one of any World War II memorials.
So did you watch it last night, or not last night? Was it yesterday afternoon?
I watched it right after it was done. Hayden and I sat down and watched the first couple matches, and again, after the women's tag team, I had no interest in it.
I mean, I think the only match I actually had interest in was just Orton and Gunther. That was it. They opened with Cody and KO.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that Cody was going to win again. But it's funny now where it's how many pay-per-views has he main evented since winning the championship? He's opened up the last two, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you also saw the fans. So, I mean, I don't know if that's Triple H's idea to open up with that to kind of get the fans while they're energetic and ready. Because again, as the night goes on, if you have bad matches, the fans aren't going to like it. I mean, look at AEW. The reports were that everyone used Chris Jericho's match as a bathroom break.
Right.
So you're always going to have that one match on the card. So, do you kind of want to start with a bang or wait till the end and see what's going to happen?
And that's where it's I think the good thing for these premium live events overseas, it's the crowd reaction.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that keeps you somewhat interested in it.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, if this was in St. Louis, I think the crowd probably would have been dead most of the show.
I agree with
and
you.
It just I don't know. To me, it's the corporate with TKO now running things. It's just becoming for me boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely harder to watch since the takeover. So we'll see. I mean, I went through that phase before where it kind of lost interest, and then it sparked interest again during the major pay-per-views. But again, to me, this isn't one of the original 5 pay-per-views that WWE and WWF had. So I mean, what do you expect?
And we're going to see more and more stuff overseas. I think a lot of these smaller pay-per-views, we're going to start seeing more.
Well, he met Triple H. Met with the mayor of England or somewhere in England, where to do it there, to do WrestleMania overseas, and was saying that there was a great meeting and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's going to be very interesting if they would do that, because I think that kind of deflates WrestleMania.
I mean, because that's where WrestleMania. It's always been nice when it's been here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
It's been, whether good or bad card, you're always interested in watching it.
Correct.
right now for me with the 2-nighters. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
It's way too much, and it's just have better talent, have a better card.
Now, how do you feel about, because I've noticed with these couple last PLEs where the card has been more NXT size. And what I mean by that is if you look at it when Triple H was doing like the takeovers, there was 5 matches.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a 2-night event. It was, kind of everyone had a chance to shine. Everyone had a chance to do that match. Because even if you do a 5-card match, 30 minutes per match, you're looking at 2.5 hours.
Right.
Which isn't that bad.
Well, to me, it was always like 7 was the ideal number.
Okay.
But like your 7 best matches, like maybe throw a squash match in there. Because you got to change it up. It seems like them and AEW, they're all trying to have 5-star matches.
Yeah.
Every match is trying to be classic and special. And what happens when everything's special? They said it in the movie Incredibles.
Yeah.
And nothing's special anymore.
Correct.
And that's just the way it feels. And it's like the whole Drew McIntyre and a man that shall be nameless match. You knew
it's the weenus of the
weenus,
WWE.
Pepsi boy. That it was just going to be like, okay, he's going to win now. So they're going to set up their 3rd and final match for Bad Blood, which more likely would be Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, as I've said on multiple times, social media has really ruined a lot of wrestling because there was reports of Drew and the man that shall be nameless together, talking about the event, talking about everything right by the ring, and there was photos taken.
Well, and that's where it's like, yeah, that's happening because they have to plan their match.
Correct.
And figure out. They're going to be professional whether they like each other or not. That was the good thing. Like when Vince ran the company, is like, we're going to make money with this.
Correct.
And that's where Triple H is doing the same thing. We're going to make money with this. So either you're on board and we'll make a lot of money, or we're going to have an issue and none of you are going to make any money and you're going to both be out of here.
So, they started off with Cody and KO. It definitely kind of set the way for KO to kind of turn on Cody down the road because there was a lot of times where he did not strike and
take advantage
of the bad knee. Yeah. So, but again, I called it, and I talking with Hayden, I kind of laid out the whole match before we watched it, and he looked at me and he's like, I was probably out of 10 points, I was probably 7 points correct.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
And that's where it's like also the rumors now with KO is his contract's coming up. So a lot of times in the history, especially in WWE, when a guy's contract is coming up, they try to throw him in a main event in the pay-per-view to give him like another run to see what the crowd reaction is and to see like should he be resigned or not resigned? Do they have a story here or not? And right now, the reports I've been reading is that he's not resigning. Or they're not going to offer him a deal. So, and really for WWE, they have so much talent. He takes up too much TV time, and I don't think he's a big enough draw anymore.
Yeah, especially if they're going to push, which we've talked about before, Randy Orton going after the title.
Right.
You're not going to need the RKO, the Randy, the RK Bro kind of tag team anymore,
Right.
So I could definitely see him falling off. I could see also Sami Zayn because I think his contract's coming up.
I think they're both
right around the same time. Yeah,
them it's New Day.
I could see them falling off. I will say I do like what's going on with the New Day right now since you brought them up. But again, that was on Raw, so it was, we can continue talking about the PLE if you want to.
We go anyway. It doesn't matter.
It's our show.
It's our show. No script, no rules.
No script. Things don't work, so we'll just
we just go with it.
So
look at that. We got 2 likes and no views. That's
hey, there we go.
It's not even counting my view right now.
I think So the women's tag team match was next.
With Jay Cargill and
again
Bianca.
Though, the sponsorship, them coming out wearing green, like it gave it away. And
they want them to be multi tag team champions. So if they ever need to be inducted in the Hall of Fame,
Correct.
That way they could be a 2-time champion team, and that's just.
I mean, Cargill does look better. I think she's not as stiff. She's still got some parts in those matches where she's got some.
She's got a lot of work to do,
Yeah.
and that's what kind of stinks because there's just some people that it just never works.
Yeah.
Yeah, like her comparisons is always going to be Goldberg.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, the big dominant force, and then but very green and injures people.
Yeah. Or the Nia Jax. I mean,
Right.
Same thing with her. The mixed tag team match. I mean, I don't think I'm going in card order right now, but the mixed tag team match was the next one that kind of stuck out because of everything. And I mean, yes, I think it did set up some bad blood matches for Rhea and Liv. I kind of felt like Dominic was just kind of left. He was kind of like just nothing was really about him in that match.
I mean,
There's a few spots.
There's a few spots where they showed like Rhea just dominating Dom, and then I mean the highlight was the pin.
Of course,
like her trademark pin. But it's like you had the Judgment Day come out, and it was like I don't know. To me, it was too quick for them to get that win with Judgment Day interfering, because now it's like, okay, now you just beat the entire Judgment Day by yourselves.
Yeah.
So like, what's the point of having a further feud?
Oh, correct. I mean, I definitely think they needed to build something where they needed a third member. They needed something kind of because that would have given you the opportunity to, bring somebody in or restructure a stable correctly. Or even have a mole in the Judgment Day. I mean, I still think
Carlito,
yeah. I think because there's just a lot of things that his body language kind of shows that, I could see him kind of turning or kind of going a different way. But they also look like they're trying to do the whole LVO versus them, or LWO versus them.
That's where it's like, I mean, they're using Dom so much as Eddie Guerrero, like storylines and the looks and movesets, and it's like let Dom and Ray be themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Get away from the whole Eddie Guerrero milking and banking off of that.
Yeah.
For how many years? Because I don't even know if Eddie's family still gets anything for that.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I mean they're both. She's involved with AEW still, and I think so is Chavo, isn't he?
No, Vicky got let go from AEW.
Oh, okay.
I think there's some personal incident that happened in her life that they're like, oh, we need you to kind of step away. And Chavo's been working a lot with The Rock, with like the movies, training people,
and
that kind of stuff. And Chavo himself has even said, like, stop using Eddie. Like, they were friends, they weren't best friends.
Yeah.
Like, I was Eddie's best friend. Chris was Eddie's best friend. Chris Benoit was Eddie's best friend.
Oh, don't say his name.
We can say his name.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, like Ray was just an acquaintance.
Yeah. I mean, Ray also, though, back in the WCW days, like, he didn't need Eddie. And that wasn't even one of really his tag team partners. It was always Kano. It was always Kidman.
There's Kidman, Psychosis,
Yeah.
Juventud.
Yeah, so they weren't really, but again, they played, when they came to the WWE, they played that whole Latino kind of wave.
Right.
And again, as we've always said, Vince McMahon was smart with that.
Right.
He kind of knew when to strike, and I think that's kind of right now where Triple H is kind of falling short a little bit.
Well, and that's where I like, here we go, Ken Bret Hart said about Triple H that like Triple H.
What's that timeline?
Not even 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 27 seconds.
He couldn't even Triple H.
You can put that on the board. It's like we gotta have like a timeline.
Time.
Yeah.
But it's like he couldn't even come up with an idea on his own.
Yeah.
And he had no creativity. Like Bret flat out called him out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And right now with Vince gone, and we're seeing it right now. He's recycling storylines. He has no idea what to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to even flat out say he's racist. Like, look at what he has done with the Hurt business.
Yeah.
with a bunch of like, I would say the African American athletes there, like there's no push for any of them except for Jade and Bianca. That's it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is getting pushed down on the card.
I mean,
They're all being in squash matches and pretty much jobbing out. Like,
oh yeah.
there's no push for any of those guys.
Not on the main shows. I mean, again, you have some more push at NXT.
But is that more Shawn Michaels?
But exactly, that's so. You make a good point there, but it's I don't know. It's kind of hard to.
I know it's a tough accusation, but it's like, okay, what he did when he was with DX.
Oh yeah,
they all did the blackface and all that stuff. Like, it was his idea.
Oh yeah,
but I'm like, no one calls him out on it.
No. Because he's married to it was married to the owner's daughter.
And that's where too. I mean, like, yeah, everything that he's been doing with them in general, like, why was Lashley never pushed?
No. Well, now Lashley's reported of trying to go clean. He re-signed his with the USA fighting organization so that he's actually going to get tested. They're saying that he's going to go back to Bellator to fight actual MMA again. But then he did trademark a new name with MVP involved, which MVP was also just sent to Europe to go through a stem cell treatment because he says he's not ready to be done. So we'll see.
And it's like the Street Profits, like, what has Triple H been doing with them at all?
No, I mean,
like, nothing. It's like Montez Ford, 2 years ago looked like he was going to be the next big superstar. Unfortunately, he got hurt.
Yeah.
Came back, and they've done nothing.
Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting because I feel like he kind of had the same rise and arc that, a Roman Reigns had.
Right.
Where they were in a dominant tag team. I'm not saying the Street Profits were as dominant as the Shield, but they kind of went off on their own. And, he got hurt. Roman had the leukemia and had to go away. And, but when he came back, he wasn't the same person until he reinvented himself with the Wise Man. And I could see that happening with Ford. I could see him getting tired of, being the laughing stock. But again, he's also riding the coattails of Bianca. He's got the show on USA. So, I mean, it's, what more do you got to do? I mean, at some point in a professional athlete, it's got to put it out there of, am I in it to make the money? Am I in it to make my family's money? Or am I in it because I love what I do?
And that's where it's like last year, he only got his break because of Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Brock was like, I like Bobby. Like, you want to put him over. Like, yeah, you win it and I'll win it back later. But, like, he deserved it.
Yeah.
And that's just where it's like, I don't understand. It's like, the fans are behind some of these guys. They have the physique. It's a good marketing thing. Like, but
yeah, what's with Baron Corbin and what's Apollo going as right now? But like them right now being a tag team, like that was just a weird grouping for me.
Well, they were together in the NXT. They kind of like formed a group there. But like Baron Corbin's another guy where it's just he can't draw.
No.
And he almost has like that go away heat.
Yeah.
And it's just like he has no charisma. He's one that retired Kurt Angle, and it's just like when he's on TV, click.
Yeah.
And you want to sit and watch him? No.
Yeah, that's definitely when you maybe get a refreshment or
the bathroom break.
Yeah, the bathroom break.
Make dinner. Or,
yeah. Reheat the pizza from the night
before. Is he still on? Is he not still on? And that's just.
So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot that, it's hard to watch the program right now for me and commit to it, especially when everything is being posted on social media and everything is being laid out there. Yeah.
Is that a general consensus for most people, or is that just old school wrestlers? Now the young kids are liking knowing what's happening.
Well, I mean, the report like you brought up in the podcast was, Triple H is watching everything on Twitter and trying to spin it, to change it. Again, it's the whole story of what's MLB doing. They're losing fans because it's too long. It's boring. Well, wrestling, you could change things, but the way, like Tom was saying, the way Triple H is doing it right now, it's all redoing storylines. And when you've watched wrestling for the many years, over 10 years now, at a minimum, you'll start to see a lot of these things regurgitated and redone. You had like the Latino Heat, the Eddie Guerrero feud. Like, I mean, they were pushing Dom to be the same exact way. I mean, they even gave him a love interest of the next manly woman, kind of sex symbol that China was.
And they did the exact same shirt style, except change the name. I'm your mommy and sub, I'm your poppy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everything was the same. I mean, there was even, I think...
that's been for how long? They've been doing it for 3 years, it feels like.
Exactly. Well, that was like the funny thing was, I remember there was an influencer that I follow on TikTok where he pretty much had a screen of what was going on with Dom and then what was going on with Eddie. And it was in a different like locker room area, but it was like the same body language, the same speech, the same everything. And it was almost line for line. So
it's where it's like, I've seen reports like, is Triple H leaving? Are they going to get a new COO?
I mean,
he wasn't there yesterday to go move in his daughter to college, is what they're saying. So,
yeah, I mean, well, that's also the problem with the social media is there's just so many avenues now that people can get their information from. And you don't know who's really telling the right reports. And I mean, even Fightful Select gets them wrong. And so there's not really a go-to person like you have with the NBA, the MLB. You have your known sources that if they say something, it's going to happen or pretty close to it.
That's where it's like, for me, it's like I usually like looking at like Bleacher Report or Sportscada. Like those two seem to be spot on. I used to love Wrestling Inc. It used to be great, but then it's like all the viruses I would get on my computer from that site.
Well, that's not they're not the reason you got the viruses, Tom. Let's be honest.
It is the reason, because it'll be that side I wouldn't click on any of the ads, and somehow that's the only side I go on.
So what? I mean, the next WWE pay-per-view is Bad Blood.
Bad Blood, beginning of October.
Did you see anything off the PLE that would push a story, or you think they're going to try to do homegrown stories?
No, the only one that's going to be, like I said, the man shall be nameless, and Drew and Hell in the Cell. We'll get Cody's next opponent probably on Friday.
Is he going to select an opponent? I think he got a lot of bad heat for that. Picking Kevin, yeah.
Well, if you listen to the crowd right now, it's him and the man that shall be nameless. They're starting to turn on those guys.
Yeah.
And I think WWE's too cautious to do it with Cody. And Fragile Phil has too big of an ego that they don't want to do it yet, even though they probably make a lot more money that way. But I mean, it's because like the next storyline after Hell in a Cell should be Rollins will probably be coming back. Maybe he interferes in that match.
Maybe.
And they set up their feud. I'm trying to think who Gunther would be facing next.
I could see Gunther getting attacked by, someone from the bloodline but again, that whole story right now is just, it seems like it's being on repeat again. Now you got Solo and Roman going at it. Roman's off TV for a little bit.
He'll be back September 13th when they go to USA for SmackDown.
Triple H is a fan of the slow build, right? The
He's always been the
Yeah.
long booking. That was the term that he always coined was it's long booking. It's long booking. Like,
right. But weren't they also touting a new era a few months ago?
oh yeah, I mean it was Levesque era.
Yeah, and where are we?
I mean,
with that now,
it's WWE or WWF of '98 right now is where they're at.
Yeah,
it's better than 95.
Oh, it's better than '95. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I'm just waiting to see who the new Chris Jericho is going to be.
Yeah, there's got to be. That's what I say. You had Hulk Hogan come up and kind of saved it. There was always someone who has come up and saved it or revitalized it. But who is that?
Well, I'm gonna throw something out here, and I mean, we can talk about it, or it can be shot down. I don't really care. But I mean, are they burning 2025 and the lead up to 2025 because of John Cena? He's come out now. He said he's retiring. He says 2025 is his last year. You know, do you let things build and not include him, or do you give him the homage that he's deserved from what he's done for so many years? And it's kind of the Kobe Bryant treatment. You know, when Kobe announced that he was retiring, that whole season was every game was a sellout. No matter if it was him versus Charlotte or him versus whoever, it was a sellout. You know, everything, the record that they're going to continue on, that they keep talking about sellouts after sellouts, 2025, it's going to continue because everyone's going to be there because they're going to hope that they're going to see that last time that John Cena's in Chicago, last time that John Cena is in Boston. So, I mean, like from storytelling, what do you do?
So he's taking these months to get back into wrestling shape.
I mean, he's got to finish up one more movie, and I think, yeah.
And they'll be there for the debut of when they're on Netflix. When Raw goes to Netflix. Him and The Rock are both confirmed to be there for that first episode.
And that's another thing is are you waiting to kind of drop stories then? And are we just kind of in purgatory? Are we in wrestling purgatory?
It's around that time. It's like right until Survivor Series. And then after Survivor Series, it's 2 months of blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the Royal Rumble, and it's like, okay, now we're going to rush into the WrestleMania season.
I think, and thanks, Dwayne, for tuning in tonight to let me tell you something, brother. But I think The Rock just needs to disappear because everybody's holding on. Wait, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they want to see the final boss come back
and just stay out. If you want the brand to flourish and move forward, I think he's got to go. Nah, I'm out. No more. I'll stay behind the scenes or whatever. But everybody still holds their breath. I mean, it's like every pay-per-view that shows up, you're waiting for the glass to shatter. You're like, oh my God. You know, but he's down on his ranch.
I think he'll actually show up probably if they end
Isn't
up
it in
doing
Reno?
that.
It's not in Texas, I thought. I thought it was Stone Cold's Ranch. I thought it was in Reno.
Is it in Reno?
I thought it was Texas.
Yeah, I thought it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is in Texas, but
Texas rattlesnake.
Yeah, so there is a report that he has said that he will be at this year's because of how close it is to Vegas, how close he lives to Vegas. So that's why I think I got the report of Reno.
Maybe.
But again, you're right. I mean, everyone wants to see
West Texas rattlesnake.
Yeah. But again, is Triple H gonna kind of just cop out and give the fans what they want of The Rock and Stone Cold final showdown and a stunner, a rock bottom, and call it a day? But
I mean, the best thing would be to come back and stun Triple H, but that's not his heart pops. Whoops, sorry about that.
Yeah. My bad.
Man, that's where it's like, I think, The Rock comes back for Survivor Series, for the whole War Games if they do Bloodline versus Bloodline. And then reveal that he's the one that anointed Solo and start that build with Roman at WrestleMania. The other thing I'm thinking that what I would do somehow is get Orton a title. So like either he beats Cody quick and they have a rematch and he loses it again, But then Cody is like still champion going to WrestleMania and make a triple threat match with Randy, Cena, and Cody in a triple threat elimination match.
Okay.
So then they both, let's say they eliminate Cody right there. Now you know it's going to be Orton or Cena getting 17.
I can see that. I mean, that'd be an interesting.
But what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Because for the most part, Cody is the most boring. He's more boring than Roman Reigns.
well, I mean, it's
He is no tribal chief.
he's no tribal chief, but
No.
here's the thing, though. He's on TV. He's there.
Yeah, he's there.
You know what I'm saying? So the title is shown. So I mean, like to give the flowers to the man for that, at least he's there. When Roman was the tribal chief and he was on site, it definitely was must-watch TV because he was there.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where for me, I would not watch every episode because I would wait to see it on Bleacher Report or Facebook or like the Roman's there. Then I would watch because now I know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
With Cody, he's there all the time.
Trying to be the fighting champion, and
Yeah.
every match is a struggle. And
Yeah, I mean, he has this.
he needs to have some squash wins.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
There's,
that.
like, no
He really
dominance.
does.
He had a tough match with Carmelo. He had a tough match with Logan. It's like, give him someone
Let
that
him
he
just stop a muddle
right.
on somebody.
Show that he's a dominant champion. And like, just it seems like every match, it's like, okay, there's a reason why he's winning. He got help to win the championship at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
He pretty much won yesterday afternoon because KO didn't want to put the dagger in him.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hurt his knee. Didn't want to hurt his back. Really finish him off.
Yeah.
He just felt sympathy.
Yeah.
And that's where it's just like he is coming across as such a weak champion. It's like, I don't know if that's just a subliminal thing from Triple H where it's like, I'm just going to bury you this way
Yeah, I
with
mean,
the fans, like
I do.
to get back at them.
you know, hey, you took a sledgehammer to the throne, and guess what? I'll make you champion, but you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
They're going to love you until they turn on you.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm tired of the whole lost my dad storyline.
Yeah.
Every match and like now every photo shot is somewhere like where him and Dusty was before, and but Dusty's not there, but now we're going to put the belt there in Dusty's place. And
I mean, like when it first happened, there was a lot of cool things. Like when they went to Madison Square Garden, you know, someone after the event came out, gave Cody the actual belt that his dad won with the count out. Like, and it was a cool moment. But now the story is over.
Yep.
You are champion. Now, how do you elevate that championship is my question. And like I said, I would love for him to see a cracked nightmare, cracked whatever, something break in him.
I agree. That would be get that edge.
Yeah, 100%. Give him the edge. And I mean, and here's the other thing. I would love, and I've wanted this for a very long time, I would love to see the hardcore title come back. And I would love for it to happen on Netflix because you could do it there.
Right.
You don't have to worry about the blood and the violence and all that stuff. That's what Netflix is giving you.
Right.
But the other thing to me right now is keep all these keep all these superstars podcasts. Like the thing Vince McMahon tried to do was diminish a lot of that stuff. Like, hey, we're gonna own it.
Right.
If you want to do something like it's right now kind of ruining the brand for me now that I'm thinking about it more and more. Like when you have Impulsive and you have Logan talking to Dominic and Triple H and John Cena and Roman, it opens them up,
Right.
but it also kills the character.
Oh yeah, that's where it's like there. You keep saying kayfabe's dead.
Yeah. Oh, kayfabe has been dead.
I mean, I want to still does this Jericho for the most part. I mean, MJF. I mean, I think the AEW guys do better with the kayfabe.
Yeah.
But I mean, in WWE,
MJF's just a dick. He's just a dick. I mean, I don't care if Kent, you got to find me for saying that, but he's just a dick.
I don't know where.
But
we got to pay for the studio. So.
But he is exactly what you want him to be.
Right.
You want to be. He's the person where if you saw him at a bar,
comeback.
if he's at a bar and he's hitting on a girl, you're gonna go up there and just punch him in the face. Like, that's what you want to do.
Mm.
And as a fan, that's the heat you want as a heel.
Right.
WWE does not have that.
No.
Logan Paul, or Dominic.
Dominic is the only one that has the heat with the fans. That's it. Like,
But does he?
No.
Is it heat now because of you want to punch him in the face, or is it heat because you want what he has? And it's not no title.
right.
It's the hand of Liv. I mean, he went from Rhea to Liv. I mean, but again, there's also a lot of stars that are not on the roster right now. I mean,
Right.
Alexa Bliss, when she comes back, I mean, that's gonna really help. I think she's always been very interesting to watch.
Email notification.
There you go.
Note for self. Put computer on mute for next time.
There we
I
go.
don't know. Maybe it's a fan. Send an email.
But again, you have Roman Reigns not on TV. You have, John Cena that we've talked about. So I mean, there's a lot of people that they're not there. So it's like they're waiting for something. And all these people have come out on their social medias and on their platforms and said, I'm ready.
Right. And that's where, it's like, do they go back to where it was like the In Your House pay-per-view, where these ones really don't matter? Let's showcase some of these other talent. Not exactly have a championship match on there, or world championship or WWE championship. Save those for the big four, big five.
Yeah.
I mean, try to develop more talent, because right now, like, WWE's issue is they're all old.
Correct.
Mhm.
I mean, most of them are 37 and older. I mean, the only ones that you really got are Braun and Gunther. It's like the Usos are 38, 39.
Mhm.
Cody's 37. LA Knight's 43, 44. AJ's 46, 47. Randy's somewhere like 45, something like that. Cena's 48, 49.
That's nice. But yeah, I mean, it's, to me, I think there's too many events that you can't do proper build-ups anymore.
No.
So the average age Raw is 37, and SmackDown's is 36. That's the average age.
Yeah.
But now what's the average age of people on television? Just because you're on the roster, though, is going to affect that average. I mean, that's my basic math, skills here. But an average is based on the number of people.
Well,
so.
there's like, you got Tiffany that's young.
Yeah.
You got Braun that's young. Yeah.
Creed, you got A-Town Down, they're younger. But
I mean, that's what's kind of funny is like when Cena, Orton, Brock all came in, they were in like their early 20s.
Mhm.
Brock was the youngest champion. And then
but he still was young.
Then they had the falling outs, and then they made Orton the youngest champion just so then Brock couldn't have that title in case nothing got reconciled.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, since they've lost OVW wrestling with Jim Cornette, and they've started NXT, I mean, they'll get the guys, they'll have solid, good matches on NXT, but it doesn't translate well when they come up to the main roster.
Yeah. And now you have the partnership with TNA, and you have people kind of floating between NXT and TNA. I mean, I don't know. I don't really.
I think what Triple H is doing there, he's trying to get TNA more recognition to kind of hurt AEW, to give them some of the better talent or known faces, and introduce some of their guys, and use that as leverage to sign them over.
Yeah.
Like Joe Hendry's going to sign as soon as he's a free agent. I mean, that's just pretty much a given right now. Probably
Yeah.
Jordan Grace, too, will probably sign as soon as she's a free agent, too. Because she liked, look at this catering. Look at the fans that show up to this. Look at the production, the glitz, the glamour.
Yep.
Oh, look at more money that I can get.
Well, and I think that's kind of the storyline that they did on AEW with Monet and Britt Baker. Or, you came over here because you wanted to be the highest paid female wrestler.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, she's right on that. But again, it's they kind of are now starting to use that heat over there. And I kind of think that's interesting that you didn't kind of start with that, because I feel like she should have been kind of the pariah because of that.
Well, I think the issue there was because Britt got her mouth in trouble with MJF's girlfriend and MJF behind the scenes, where she was actually suspended for a bit. And who knows if they were actually going to have her win over Mercedes at All In. But it's like, what stinks is they're kind of doing what WCW did of, okay, we're going to bring in these former WWE, WWF guys, and we're just going to let them win.
Yeah.
Show that our talent doesn't mean anything. And Vince would be like, see, our talent's always better. Like, when you come to our territory, we're going to beat you.
Yeah.
You're going to sign with us, we're going to beat you. I think the only exception has really been Ric Flair.
Yeah. I mean, I did like on AEW seeing John Moxley come back. It was interesting to see him back.
Not wearing the Blackpool combat stuff.
Yeah. Seeing him come back kind of in a reimagined John Moxley. I mean, shaved head and, kind of things like that. And I mean, there were some angles that they're trying to push. And I mean, Shane McMahon Shane O'Mac is involved in some way. So we'll kind of see where that goes. I
think they're saving him for All Out in Chicago on Saturday.
I think they're going to try to do something. And I mean, but again, what I would do there is I would do the invasion role. I would, but again, are you going to do the invasion role where you're using WWE people, John Moxley and some other people, to kind of do the WCW/ECW invasion kind of angle as well?
Like, do it the right way.
Yeah. We can see.
Because that was the issue, is like when they first did that angle, they didn't have the right talent stars. They were all staying home under contracts. They didn't have to show up. They're getting paid.
Correct.
No, looks like Kenton's got something to say over there now. Just contemplating.
Yeah.
Or let's see what else happened there. Yeah, we had the strap match, and I fell asleep during it.
I thought the strap match was kind of comedic. When you had Drew
for the bracelet.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you had Drew having this man over his shoulder, and it was like, I don't care how loud an arena is. Like, you're telling me after the first, maybe the second time that he did that, where Drew would hit it and then turn and go to the next buckle, and the man that should not be nameless hit it. Like, you're telling me you're not hearing this click? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I just thought that was a weird part of the match. Like, I remember when there was, the Brahma Bull rope matches back in the day, or all that stuff. It was just, you were attached to beat the crap out of each other. Like, that's all I wanted. I didn't want this like Family Feud, first one to hit the 4 buzzers thing. Like, that was just a stupid stipulation on the match. It's like, it's kind of like if you remember when they had the
contract. Well, how else is he going to win?
Put on an actual match.
He can't win an actual match.
But at that point, it's like, I feel like it's the old contract on the top turnbuckle kind of matches from, the late 90s, where you had to climb the turnbuckle and get the match. Bring back a classic cage match. Bring back, Triple H. Yeah, bring back the blue cage. Bring back something that actually meant something. Bring back a Cell. Well, Hell in a Cell, I feel like they've done enough of them where, like, I would want to see like a boiler room match. Like, give me something with, and again, going back to the hardcore, but like, give me something where I feel like this person's actually in danger.
Like the Punjabi prison match?
And they've talked about bringing that back too. Like, you've heard the rumors about that.
I was at that one. That was the worst.
Yeah.
Watch it live.
Maybe when Netflix takes over, we'll see more of that.
Or what I would love to see is, this is a funny comp, but bring back the cage on top of a cage on top of a cage, and I'm gonna bring back a movie reference here, but Ready to Rumble. Yeah. That was a cool match. I know it was for a movie, and I know they tried to do it in the show, but do something different. Like War Games 2 cages next to each other. That was done back before. Do something new. Structures have become so light and so unique.
What about that scaffold match that they used to do in WCW?
Oh, yeah.
Was a New Jack tried to kill the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Legitimately in that one.
Yeah. I mean, New Jack was a crazy guy. But that's just where, like, again, bring back the
I don't know about bring back, but just come with something innovative.
Yeah. I mean, the last count or false count anywhere match, I think, was what? Kevin Owens versus Roman, when like Kevin Owens hit him with the golf cart and they completely botched the match because like Roman was handcuffed to the screen and he couldn't get up in time, and Paul Heyman had to save him, but it was like it was well past 10 seconds. Like, so I just think they need to do something. If Triple H is reaching in the past to figure out stuff, like do something. Bring back something from the past. Boiler room match, a classic cage match where you just gotta get over and touch the ground and just do something like that.
Well, are the new contracts written to protect, you know what I mean? To be softer on the, that would be interesting.
I almost assume right now.
Yeah, right. To protect the wrestlers.
Because now they're saying ever since Kevin Owens' last deal, where he was like one of the higher paid WWE guys, now he's like one of the lower paid ones because of the AEW contracts, like with Swerve and Danny Garcia. Now they're getting paid more than KO is right now.
Wow.
To like prevent them from going over to WWE. So now WWE's like, okay, now we either gotta pay up or they're going to overpay, and now it's just going to be a pissing contest between the two companies and who runs out of money first with talent. Because I mean, that's sort of like Vince was smart. What 2-3 years ago when he released everyone?
Yeah,
or not everyone, but like a good chunk of talent,
yeah.
and like Tony Khan like signed everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And now what's he doing with them?
Nope.
Most of them are at home or still in catering. And then Triple H is what he's been doing is he's been signing the veterans to be like more producer roles and coaches.
Well, I just the article came out with Jesse Ventura supposedly is leaked that there's a Legends contract that he's about to sign.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't look good.
No, he didn't look good when he was in his prime. I mean,
that's true.
But
that's what WWE has is their old footage.
Yeah,
has their toy line, they're the established long-term product. I mean, look, these are now back at stores.
Yep.
Remade, and it's the older ones that are selling, not the newer guys.
Yeah.
They want all the classic guys. And it's just like, I don't know anymore. Like, what are they doing?
Well, Sid Vicious died.
And we were going to get into that. So we'll talk about that now. Kent brought up. Was it Monday, I think?
Was I looking at his thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was Monday.
I think it was Monday when he passed away. Sid Udy, otherwise known as Sid Vicious, or his first run was Sid Justice.
Sid Justice.
And he came back as Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, he was the big guy that actually had some charisma and aura. Wasn't always the sharpest tool in the drawer, but like I don't know how many like interviews he would screw up and ask to redo it again live on TV.
Yeah.
That's where it was like when he came back was like 95-ish with the Psycho Sid gimmick, like where he's the master ruler of the world, and you had the psycho stabbing.
He was a big dude that could move in the ring too.
He could.
Right.
I think he was probably one of the only people that I think could give the Undertaker kind of a run for, like, if you remember, I mean, the Undertaker back in the day, like, I mean, for that size of a man, like, he was very ballerina-esque.
Right.
But yes, a lot of the memories that I have of Sid was just his aura in the ring. I mean, it was just
power.
Yeah.
And
he was a heavyweight.
He was a heavyweight, and I think he was actually like a safe heavyweight too. I mean, even though like he looked like those power bombs hurt, like he was careful with you.
Yeah.
He was what, 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where it's like he'll get compared a lot like with Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I like Sid more than Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash to me was always kind of dull.
Yeah.
He's very smart.
Yeah.
But like on the mic, very slow.
Yes.
And like you could just tell he just cares about money. That's it. Like, I'm here, I got paid, whatever.
Six foot 9, 317 pounds.
So
Wow.
some fun facts for you guys about Sid is he is the only guy to beat both Brett and Shawn Michaels for the championship.
Really?
And he is the first guy to ever kick out of Hogan's leg drop.
Did not know that.
Is that right?
So, and that's where it was a botch move too. So what happened, not Shawn Michaels, Papa Shango was supposed to run out during that match and interfere, missed his cue. And so they had like no choice but to kick out of the leg drop to keep it going. So I think that was WrestleMania 7.
But interesting fact, I mean, not interesting fact, but like interesting just the timeline right now is like there's a lot of these wrestlers that had significance that are passing away.
Right.
Kind of all in the same time frame. I mean, both Roman Reigns has lost 2 of his family members in this year. Sid, I mean, there's been a lot that have passed in this year that it's just, you know, again, is that where like what you were saying earlier is like, are these contracts to be safer? Is this that eye-opening thing where it's like, hey, we got to take care of these people? Like, you know, CTE is a thing,
Right.
you know.
And that's where, like they'd have the medical care or whatever and rehab stuff that they put you in. And I don't know if it's like their way of like, see, we don't need a union because we're going to take care of you guys when you're done. As like their kind of cop out kind of thing, but like here's this legend deal where now you can make this money if you sign this contract, make these toys. The other thing that I'm seeing now too is like they're pretty much almost trying to wait as long as possible for the guy to pass away before they induct him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And like they did it with Vader. They did it now with Sid. And now I could almost guarantee that Sid will probably be in the Hall of Fame next year.
Probably.
And guess what? They're going to bank on the merchandise.
Yep.
And they don't have to give a fraction to his family. Not as much as if he was still alive.
Yep. And that's where the whole contract negotiations kind of gets very dark and, you know, horrible. But I mean, it's a business, and that's exactly what, you know, it's cheaper when they're dead not to pay them than it is if they're alive.
Right. And you know, I have the headaches and whatnot. It's like they did nothing with Macho Man when he was alive.
Yep.
As soon as he passed away, look at all that merchandise and still merchandise that they're selling. Now they got the Halloween costumes and all that stuff. It's like very few ones that are still alive that they still sell. I mean, it's Rock, Austin, Brett, Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, but Hogan to me, I think he does it on his own. I mean, I'm not going to a WWE event to buy his merch. He's pushing his own merch, and he knows that he's got to pay for all of his alimony and everything like that. So like, you know,
alimony, court cases, vitamins.
Yeah. Brett is a different story as well. I think he's just, you know, I looked a couple of days ago. Hayden and I were talking about buying one of the shirts from WWE's net or the store.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have to type those people in to find that stuff.
Right.
You know, you're seeing a lot right now. Like I said, John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold, those people. But like Bret Hart,
Legends, Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. You have to actually like search for that stuff. It's there, but you have to search for it. Mm-hmm. So, but even some of their current stars.
That's what I hate too. Is like ever since they went with Fanatics, everything is way overpriced.
Oh, yeah,
the quality's not as great.
But everything's always on sale. Like it's just like I went on there on a Wednesday night, and there was not a show on. There was not a pay-per-view, and it's like 25% off. It's like
it's usually either 25% off or free shipping. Yeah, it's like one or the other.
Yeah, but then you wait for like a Bash of Berlin, or you wait for a PLE, and it's like 46, and it's like a random number. It's like 27% off today only. Like what?
Non-select merchandise.
Yeah,
I still can't get my Terry Salburn shirt.
But that's the one thing that I kind of, if I could project what I would love for them to do is bring back with Netflix, bring back the hardcore element, bring back something. I mean, I used to love when the hardcore title was up what they called now the 24/7 title that they kind of let die. But like I loved when that thing was up like randomly because that was kind of interesting to see. Like
belt was held together with duct tape.
Yeah. But it was just one of those things where it's like, all right, who has it now? But that was also people that had it that, Ken Shamrock, Mankind, Boss Man. Like those are people that were like hardcore people. And now that they own ECW, I can kind of, they've been pushing that too a little bit. Like, see what's going to happen with that. Are we going to get an ECW 3.0 or not? So.
And that's where I think they will end up creating some more shows in a way. Again, it's like they have their Raw, NXT, Speed, SmackDown, usually a PLE in there somewhere or an NXT pay-per-view. Sometimes it's the same weekend, sometimes it's different weekends. Yep. Then you have AEW where you got Dynamite Wednesday, Rampage Friday, Collision Saturday. And they're all using the same stars.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think they need to start going back to like this show is this type of star. Like how they used to do Sunday Night Heat, how they used to do Main Event, how they used to do Superstars.
Yeah.
Like here's your group of guys. This is that group. I don't know if we can do Group A, Group B, or C, D, or whatever. Like here's Group A guys. Here's Group B. You guys are going to tour.
What? I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen a fresh bunch of guys come into either show right now where it's like, like the kind of interesting guy right now is with the one with the New Day. I talked about him last podcast. He's just a big dude that, again, kind of can move on his feet. But you got a lot of those same characters now. You got Reed, you got Braun Strowman, you got Braun Breaker. Right. Okay, now you have a fourth guy. It's like, what are you going to do with this? Like, they always have that weird. We got a lot of actual heavyweights, but then we don't do nothing with them, or we have like no heavyweights, and the people that are going after the title is like a Ricochet.
Right. And that's where it's like a lot of times, like, are they just throwing shit to see what sticks? Mm-hmm. And okay, this guy's getting a reaction. This guy is getting some attention. This one is selling more merch or whatever. You have a question over there?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Oh. 3-minute warning. Oh, that was, you remember that group?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I kind of feel like we've kind of lost a segment here on the show. Is with the producer kind of kicking in a game and kind of making it challenging, but. Right.
We'll get there eventually.
We'll get there soon.
We'll get there when I get a microphone. Second, that's what I was laughing about. Is one of the matches that I saw with Stone Cold when they were over. Who is that big guy? Big like sumo type wrestler. He wrestled.
Yokozuna?
No, he was like 600 pounds, real big dude. Anyway. They were wrestling and they were like in India or something or across seas. And of course, the diet, food changes over there, whatnot. And he threw Stone Cold up on his shoulders and then backdropped, right? And Stone Cold shit himself.
Yeah.
He goes, thank God I was wearing black trunks.
Yep. I've seen that interview before.
Vince has done it too.
So I was thinking when I started laughing, I was thinking about best of, worst of.
Yeah.
Yokozuna. Thanks, Tim. I was thinking of best of, worst of. I'm like, what would be the funniest? Whoops, I shit myself.
Yeah, there's been, funniest moment that I think I've seen is, some of these just like sheer misses, like even with the bloodline right now, like there was a couple of these, where they want to do kind of the, running ass to the face kind of thing. Like, and like, you're supposed to take the guy's face and hit it like right to the turnbuckle pretty much. And it's like completely missed. It's like, call it a botch, call it whatever, but it's just like, it's like camera angle's perfect. It's just like heads here, backside's here. It's like, okay, we completely missed. But then we're going to play it off like, I just got, knocked out. Yeah. Like,
well, I think a lot of that's too is because after like when Vince was leaving or already left, like when they lost one of their producers, or not producers, technical directors for production, I was like, Kevin Dunn, I wanted to say, like when he left, it was like, that's where I was kind of interested in what's going to happen with their camera takes and their qualities, because he was like spot on. Like, okay, now we're going to adjust the camera because it's going to look like they got that impact.
Yeah.
But like today, it's like they got someone new, and in both companies where it's like it's a delay. It's like, oh shit, I didn't hit the button in time, and you totally see the whiff.
Oh yeah,
So true.
You see the whiff, but it's also they're all trying to do something new now. Where it's like there was a couple times where you came back from like commercial and you're coming down the Titantron, like you're walking down there, and it's like, why are we doing this view? Like, just get me back into the match. Let me see what's going on.
Well, when people's walk-ins are more exciting than their match.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's, I mean, it's like it's everything right now. All sports.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the big introduction. Everyone wants wherever you're at. Like, I mean, when the Bulls were doing it in the 90s and championship, and then all of a sudden, like every wrestler all of a sudden is getting an introduction. Most of them would just get introduced. And this corner is here, and this corner is there. Like they had no theme music.
Right.
Yeah, they were already in the ring
They
and
were
the
already in the
TV.
ring.
And I was like, Hogan was like one of the first ones with the theme music. I mean, you had Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers too that had it, but I was like, very few guys had the music.
Right.
And now it's like everyone gets music. Now everyone, when they, like you were saying with contracts, everyone's getting fireworks somehow.
Yep, everyone's
Well,
got pyros.
Right? Everyone wants almost creative control with their character, and that doesn't work for me, brother. Like it's just
especially Cody with the big skull face.
right.
It's gotta go away.
Mhm.
I don't know. Just not a fan.
And that was a risk that he took. I mean, getting that tattoo, the neck tattoo, like I mean, it's there. And I mean, I remember like the article came out or the interview came out with his wife, and she didn't know he was getting it supposedly. And then he came home and she's like, "All right, well, you're stuck with that." Like,
well, I think it was also too like both of them like didn't realize how big it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, that was not what I was going for.
yeah,
but
that's one of those things where it's like you want to kind of trust the tattoo artist a little bit on that one and say,
right,
"Hey,
it is what it is," and
Yep.
everyone makes bad decisions at times.
Yep.
So.
Most of us.
But that he's been able to bank off that logo for merchandise, so whatever.
Well, they do. I mean, really quick. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but during Bash in Berlin, they showed it, and they're now taking that logo, like when they go overseas, and they're just throwing the flag on there, and they're selling it. Like when they go to Mexico or when they go wherever, it's that logo with the flag colors in between. So like the Bash in Berlin one, whatever the German flag is, but it was those colorways in there. So it was like they're definitely their marketing team is smart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the WWE, their social media, like their marketing, they're always a step ahead. They know which social media platform is going to be hot, which one isn't, and like they did the live streaming first, like right after Netflix did. So, and then now they're marketing, trying to sell to other companies, Peacock, Netflix, whatever, the streaming rights for their channels. So.
Last thing I want to say is that we talked about this last podcast about the choose your own adventure storyline, if you remember. I was going through Netflix and they have a whole category now of interactive shows. Have any of you guys seen these?
No.
All right. So one of them is it's a cat burglar game, and you like the cartoon plays and you got to tell the cat what to do or whatever. I would not be shocked if we see some angle with WWE, either like on a speed or something where you can actually interact live with the television, with the TV.
Like they did with Cyber Tuesday.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah.
I wonder if that's why Triple H is doing.
I just kind of touched on that because it was very interesting to see.
I mean, that will keep you engaged more throughout the show.
Yeah.
And tune in and instead of like DVR it and watch it later. It's like, oh, I missed it. Now I can't be a part of it.
Right.
So it's like they got, I mean, that's where the trouble with streaming is. You watch it when you feel like it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anyways, we've run over time. Kent's got to go home. We all got to go home. I got to get back to work. So thank you, everyone, for watching here at Town Production Studios, part of 216 Creator Studio. Next time, hopefully, we'll have more stuff looking right.
Yeah.
Great shows of progress. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. Best of luck in all your future